Welcome everyone, and thank you for choosing to look at my video, especially with all the other videos out there of this type. I wanted to take a step back from the video games for a second to discuss with you a topic that is quite interesting to me. That topic is the Walking Dead TV show. If you are like me, then you are probably getting tired of all the videos out there on who Negan kills. It honestly is getting to the point where I'm beginning not to care who it is.
No, and I don't care.
With that said, I don't plan on making this a constant series on my channel. I just wanted to quickly weigh in on who I think the victim is, and that will be the last you should hear from me on this topic. Hopefully. Just to be correct, I suppose at this point I should state that there is the possibility of spoilers in this video, although I don't know if you can call people's theories and ideas spoilers. However, I do mention one part of the comic book as evidence. But no, it isn't the scene everyone has been mentioning so much that is killing the idea with a ball bat. Pun intended. So, you have been warned. Let's get right into the meat of the matter. The Walking Dead Season 6 ended on a cliffhanger with all of Rick's main group, excluding Tara, Morgan, and Carol, lined up execution style before the new TV show villain, Negan. The show ended with a death that left the audience guessing who it was until the show returns. So it is said, as of making this, the show will return in about 2 weeks. Since this time, everyone and their brother has made a prediction as to who the victim was. A few months ago, a Facebook group known as the Spoiling Dead Fans posted a prediction that many have taken as fact. If you are unfamiliar with this group, they frequently go to the locations when the show is filming and release what they find. So far they have been spot on, so this leads many to believe everything that they say. Their claim is that in 2 weeks, us fans will see Abraham being the one killed, and that Daryl tries to interfere only for Glenn to be killed as well. This goes with the idea that in the show, Negan somewhat threatens Maggie, and Glenn jumps out of line, to which Negan has him put back in his spot, saying he will let this one go this time, but if it happens again, he will kill who does it. I have always had two problems with this theory. First, would Glenn get killed for Daryl jumping line? And second, being as how Negan stated before bashing his victim, that if anyone were to move, his crew was to cut out Carl's other eye and feed it to his father.
Anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the boy's other eye out and feed it to his father, and then we'll start.
Seems highly unlikely the group would tempt him. The other issue that no other YouTube video talks about is that back in June, AMC cracked down on spoilers and sent the Spoiling Dead fans a cease and desist letter promising legal action if they provided even a prediction on who died. I will provide that link in the description. For those unaware, a cease and desist letter is a legal action requesting that the person or group who has served the letter to stop doing what they are doing, otherwise a lawsuit will begin. These letters are not taken lightly, and are not just a suggestion that the person or group stop their activity. It is basically a preemptive letter attempting to resolve a situation before a court hearing is needed. Many of you may be thinking, but they did release a prediction. Yes, but I assume a deal was struck between both parties that allowed the Spoiling Dead to release a prediction that would be false, but believed by fans due to the group's reputation. This would draw the focus off of what really was happening on set. With all that out of the way, let's get into my opinion on the matter. I personally believe, and have always believed, that Maggie was the one who was the victim. Now before you tell me about her being seen on set, remember what group is telling you that information. The Spoiling Dead. Even if their sightings are correct, the number of times is less than the rest of the crew, and just being on set doesn't mean alive in the show. Remember, Lori was on the set a lot after her death, but she wasn't alive at all. So here's what I propose. When Negan hits his victim, he states, taking it like a champ.
Taking it like a champ.
This is a bit odd to say, but in a way kind of important. I don't want to sound sexist, since I'm not, but in this situation, what gender would you be more surprised to stand up from a ball bat strike? Abraham or Maggie? Granted, most anybody, regardless of gender, would be in sad shape after getting hit with a barbed-wired ball bat, but a strong female may shock Negan, hence the comment. Man, I feel off even just mentioning that, but we all know it's true. Again, no disrespect to my female viewers. Another point is that Maggie had just cut her long hair, and while it is true to the comics, it would be more effective in showing the brutality of the hit with shorter hair. When we left the show, Maggie was in bad shape and in need of medical attention. Negan knows this and even mentions how he should put her out of her misery. Negan wants healthy individuals to provide for his group, so why would he keep someone who is going to need resources from him without even knowing if that person would live or not? Essentially, he would be wasting precious medical supplies on someone who might just die on him. Now, let's talk about the baby. Babies on the TV show seem to have no place, and in most cases it seems that even the writers don't know what to do with them. We have Judith, who was killed in the comics, still around on the TV show. Other than being randomly shown or rarely mentioned by name, how many of you even remember she exists when thinking about The Walking Dead? It seems she is mentioned or shown just to remind the audience that she is still there. Judith is quickly becoming the fourth sibling in a sitcom that is mysteriously written off due to the writers not having enough material for them, i.e. Chuck on the show Happy Days or Judy in Family Matters. A lot of people hang on to Greg Nicotero stating in an interview about the upcoming deaths, as in plural, which many infer to mean Negan kills 2 from the lineup. Honestly, I think he was talking broadly as deaths in the season or just a case of misspeaking. If he wasn't doing either of those, then Maggie and her baby would be 2. My wife informs me that she did have a miscarriage of her and Glenn's baby, but I don't recall that ever being confirmed. The most damning information that, again, every other video doesn't talk about, is that on The Talking Dead, the death of Glenn in the comic books was brought up. To which Scott Gimple and Robert Kirkman, I can't remember which and I can't find a full-length video to watch again, mentioned they were going to do a 180 from the comic books. A 180 from the comic books would be Maggie. Some of you may say that Negan doesn't kill women in the comics. Actually, he has, but he seems to try not to do it. But again, doing a 180 from the comics would mean TV Negan has no problem killing whichever gender his victim is. I am fairly confident in my prediction, and at this moment only have one issue with it being right. That issue is that the producers have already said that they will show the whole gruesome scene and not from the perspective of the victim, like the cliffhanger. If Glenn's death in the comics is a predictor of what we will see, then I can possibly see issues with my prediction. Would the images of Maggie being beaten with a ball bat be too synonymous with images of abuse? It could become a bit of a tricky issue, and might even bring certain groups into causing an uproar over the use of the imagery. I really like Maggie, Carol, and Michonne. Those are some strong, badass women. I especially enjoy how they took Carol's story from a battered housewife to one of the strongest characters in the show. Not to mention how they changed her from a sex-crazed woman who commits suicide in the comics to this person who rivals Rick in the show. So with that said, I would rather not see any die, but we all know that every episode is one step closer to one of our favorites dying. So with that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.